Good, we'll get this recorded to the cloud. Hey, welcome everybody. It is May the 16th, 2019. Can't hardly believe it that we've moving right through this year. And what my goal is this evening, folks, is to give you a little bit of information, and it's going to be a little bit different information than you generally hear. And it's all starting out like this. You have a problem. It's worse than you think, right? I mean, nobody likes to be told that, but you know, you have a problem. It's worse than you think. So let's get on with the presentation, and I'll show you exactly what that problem is. Okay, you can read it. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the average salary in America is $35,000 a year. Assuming this average remains the same throughout the average working career of 40 years, the average American would earn $1.4 million in their lifetime, or about $17.50 per hour. That is not good. That is a huge problem. So what I want you to do tonight is pay attention. You know, we are going to offer you a solution to this national crisis and international crisis, if you will. So, like I said earlier, my name is Chuck Hanson. That's my dog, Rocky. He's my companion. I've been in the network marketing industry for 31 years full-time, owned an advertising agency and business prior to that for about 16 years. I've been a seven-figure earner. I've earned over $15 million in the industry. I built huge organizations all over the globe. And I was kind of semi-retired. I mean, I was, you know, sitting here at our ranch in North Carolina and kind of doing what I wanted to do. I was consulting for a couple of companies. I was flying around the globe. And I found myself getting fatter and fatter and fatter because I was always going to a breakfast, lunch, or dinner meeting. And of course, I ate on the airplane out of boredom. And you know, in May of 2018, I got a call from my good friend, Dave Jordan, who's the CEO of Valentus. And we're going to talk about that in a second. But, you know, tonight and right now, it's all about you. You know, I'm going to try to, you know, put things in perspective for you so that you can see that a change is needed in your life, right? And what we're going to talk about is an income opportunity. And we're going to talk about the money. Now, I don't know if any of these pictures, you know, attract your attention. You know, maybe the rolls up in the corner, maybe a nice house, maybe vacations, maybe a little money, maybe a farm, maybe a jet, you know, but, you know, all of those things are certainly available. Well, what I need to do is I need to ask you whether or not you're living your dream. You know, remember those dreams we had as a kid, right? You know, growing up, you know, we always said, hey, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. Whatever happened, your dreams were stomped on, they were crushed, they were stolen, and now just a memory. You know, I'm sure you're not living your dream. We were told to go get a good education, go get a good job, and be thankful that we had a job, right? And work for the next 40 years, retire in bliss with no bills and plenty of money. Folks, that was a big fat lie, right? That was a big fat lie. So, you know, I'm sure you've figured that out by now. What we're going to talk about is something that they don't teach you in school. It's about residual income. Residual income is an income you continue to earn based on efforts you put forth initially. This income is based on the sale of products and repeat sales of those products in the future. This is the reason why consumable products are the most effective in network marketing. And like I said, you know, that's what I'm going to take you down the road and show you. This is a nice little saying that my friend Art Jonak put together. If you understood residual income, you'd walk through a brick wall to get it. So, and that is truly, truly, truly the truth. So is this your life? You know, are you working 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year? Are you underpaid and overworked? Hey, if you are, you're working about 2,000 hours a year on your job that you probably hate. You know, you dread Mondays because it's another week of work, right? 2,000 hours a week for 40 years is 80,000 hours you're going to put in a lifetime of work. Your earnings are based on your efforts solely and independently. And folks, that's the problem, right? That's trading time for money. There's just not enough hours in the day for you to trade time for money. What I'm going to talk to you about this evening is how to create a leveraged income. Now, if that's a brand new term for you, pay attention. You know, it's all about what John D. Rockefeller says here. I'd rather earn 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own effort. Yeah, why not, right? And it's all about building a network, doing the work once, getting paid on that network forever. You know, I teach people all the time that they can build a group of 10 people. And if you can build a group of 10 people, you can build a group of 100. If you can build a group of 100, you can build a group of 1,000. If you can build a group of 1,000, you can build a group of 10,000, 100,000. And there's no limit to the number of people you can actually have in your organization. But if you think about it for a second, we're talking about leverage, right? 100 people working 20 hours a week is 2,000 hours. That's the same amount of time that you would have spent over the course of a year, 40 hours a week for 50 weeks, 2,000 hours. And your team just did that. Those group of 100 people working 20 hours just accomplished what would have taken you a year by yourself to do. So again, it's all about trading time for money. You know, here's what's happened, folks. I mean, most people are living paycheck to paycheck, right? $38,000 debt per person, no savings account. All of that is sad but true. You know, if you take 100 people at age 25, by the time they're age 65, 2 of them are wealthy, 2 of them can retire. 63 are dependent on Social Security and charity to survive and family, and 29 of them are gone, right? They've already checked out, you know? So what we're gonna do, what I'm gonna show you is a solution for all of those challenges. And here's the question. Here's what I ask everybody. If there was a chance, and I'm just saying a chance, if there was a chance that a $575 investment and 10 hours a week part-time effort over the course of the next 3 to 5 years could produce a 6 or 7 figure annual income, would you do it? Most people would say, of course, you know, of course I would. Well, I hear what you're saying. But J. Paul Getty, one of the richest people on the planet, wrote a book called How to Get Rich. His #1 rule to success was that you must be in business for yourself. You must be in business for yourself. And a lot of people say, well, that's a lot easier said than done. Well, and that's why I want to introduce you to Valentus. And that's why I want to introduce you to network marketing if this is your first exposure. You know, Volantis is started by a good friend of mine, Dave Jordan, in 2014 up there in the snow country in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Dave and I have known each other for about 8 years, and he and I were actually in the same company together, worked cross-line, you know, not on the same team, and that company closed the doors. He and I were sitting in the office when the CEO broke the news to us, and you know, Dave said, you know what, I'm just going to go back up to North Dakota. He lives in North Dakota and has the office in South Dakota. He said, I'm just going to go back up to North Dakota and start a company. And I looked over at him and I kind of snickered a little bit. And I said, well, Dave, you just go ahead and do that. You know, I'll be watching you. And sure enough, he did. You know, the company is 100% debt free, over $100 million now in gross sales. And obviously it's not a startup. Right now we'll be 5 years old this July. So we're past the point of you know, the company having any challenges like most startup companies. In fact, 99.9% of the companies
I'd like to get the
that
2 for
start,
$5, please.
never do
How about 2 of the
never
quarter pounder
do
with cheese?
never do. I took care of that background noise. Good. Okay. So anyway, guys, not a startup, you know, and that's the reason I started paying attention. It was over that hurdle. So that's our building. Dave owns the building outright. And like I said earlier, I got introduced to, reintroduced to Valentus in May of 2018. And it happened because of my friendship, of course, with Dave and my friendship with Rick Geralds. And, you know, what happened was that Rick and I were involved in some transactions together, and I was having a conversation with him, and I asked him, I said, well, how's that Valentus thing going for you? You know, and I said, I know you've been there about 4 years, and he said, Chuck, it's going pretty well. I've made $1.4 million in the last 4 years. And I said, well, that's kind of interesting. You know, again, it goes back to that number. How much money does a person make in their lifetime? $1.4 million. Rick just made $1.4 million in the last 4 years with Valentus. I asked him, you know, what his best month was, and he said, you know, it gets paid weekly, and the best month was about $88,000. So that got my attention. So what? Let's see here. For some reason I'm stuck. Here's why I joined. You know, I joined for 2 reasons. I joined because of the product, but I joined primarily because of the timing, right? I've been with 2 other companies, or actually 3 other companies, that have gone through this type of exponential growth. And each and every time I was with a company that went through this formulation, concentration, momentum, this vertical growth, I made millions of dollars. It wasn't because I was particularly smart. It was because of the timing. It was because I got there at the right place at the right time. So, you know, here's where we're at, folks. We're doing about $3 to $4 million a month. And, you know, something magical happens when we hit that $5, $6 million a month, and that is this whole thing goes vertical. And you know, here we are now. You know, after I came back from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, I kind of, you know, looked at some numbers, and I said, Dave, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do $40 to $50 million in 2019, and we're right on target to accomplish that. But in 2020, we're going to have a 6x or 10x growth. That is totally vertical, right? 400 million, right? Maybe 500 million. The next year, we'll have a 2x growth, you know, and that's what I've seen in the past with the other companies. That's kind of the forte, right? We'll do about 800 million, and then $1 billion is inevitable. And beyond. So, you know, Dave is preparing for that growth right now, right? He's got another building over 100,000 square feet, and preparing for the growth, that onslaught of business that's coming. Like I said, I got introduced to Valentus on in the last of May. Actually, I listened to a phone call on May the 19th, and that phone call was Dave Jordan introducing the Valentus Slim Roast Optimum Coffee. And, you know, I listened to that call, folks, and I thought it was interesting. I called Dave back, called Rick back, and I said, hey, guys, sounds interesting. I tell you, I'm going to buy a couple of canisters of coffee, and I'll get back to you. And that was it, right? I started drinking, my product came about a week later. I started drinking 2 cups of coffee every morning, and lo and behold, right? Lo and behold, I accidentally got on a scale, and I discovered that I had lost 9 pounds the first week. That got me excited, so I started paying more attention. And over the course of the next month, the full month, I'd lost 18 pounds. And what intrigued me was that it was coffee and weight loss, two gigantic industries merging together. I mean, it's kind of like Starbucks and Weight Watchers, right? You know, coming together. And it's in a product, you know, a healthy product that is, you know, actually pretty good for you and that most people drink. And it doesn't change a person's routine. So you're not having to put together a shake or anything else. And so that's what intrigued me. You know, medical complications of obesity, like I told you, I was 215 pounds. Now I've been on the coffee for a year, right at a year. I'm down 40 pounds, but more importantly, I've thinned out, right? The fat has melted off. My waist has gone from a 40 to a 33, and having to wear a belt to hold things up. But, you know, obesity is a global problem, and you're going to hear from some people here in a little bit that will, you know, show you. And what I want to do right now is just kind of play you a little short video about...
Introducing another innovative product from Valentus. Slim Roast Optimum Dark Roast Coffee. A great tasting neurologic coffee for optimum performance. Slim Roast Optimum is your logical daily solution to weight management. It's weight management with a neurological purpose. What if your brain had the ability to block unhealthy cravings? It doesn't matter if you've failed in your weight loss efforts in the past. You can do it this time by crushing your cravings. Your appetite is controlled by your cravings, and these cravings are controlled by your brain. Slim Roast Optimum helps everyone make smarter choices by blocking unhealthy craving signals in the brain. This uniquely formulated neurologic system is a Valentus Slim Roast Optimum exclusive. These neurologic nutrients nourish and reset brain receptor sites responsible for alertness, memory, focus, feeling full, metabolic functions, emotional balance, crave and hunger triggers, and much more. For the first time, you'll be able to crush your cravings while increasing your energy. Your body will learn to metabolize fat into energy while helping it regulate blood sugar. Slim Roast Optimum makes it easy to maintain a good mood, stay focused, and keep you going. By drinking Slim Roast Optimum Dark Roast Coffee, you are in control. And the best part is, it tastes great. Sip some today.
You know, guys, so that's a little bit about why the coffee works. The coffee works neurologically, right? It works on your brain. So we tell people to drink it on an empty stomach first thing in the morning and let that coffee get absorbed into your system and up to your brain, where it you know, works with your receptors in your brain that control hunger, that control mood, that control cravings, right? And if you control your cravings, you can control your appetite. It works on your receptors that control you feeling full, right? And I'll tell you what, it is the darndest product I've seen in my 30 years in this industry. And as far as Volantis is concerned, after I did my due diligence on the company, you know, I had originally told Dave I wasn't interested, but after I went up to Sioux Falls, South Dakota and spent a couple of days with Dave and looked at everything, it was obvious to me that if I didn't do this, I was going to regret that decision for a long, long, long time to come. So being the intelligent person that I am, I made the decision that I would get started, because this thing is going to grow to the numbers I just showed you, with or without Chuck Hanson, right? With or without me. And I wanted to get my small little slice. As far as the products, go to valentusproducts.com, valentusproducts.com, and you can look at all the products that are there. I'm not going to go through, we've got over 20 products now, all incredible products in their own right. But, my focus has been with the coffee because it gets almost instant results on almost everybody. And, it's very, very, very easy to share with people. Hey, do you drink coffee? Yes. Hey, have you ever thought about losing any weight? Yes, I have. Why are you asking? I mean, it's such a simple, simple business. Guys, there's 4 ways to start your own business. Remember what J. Paul Getty said, you got to be in business for yourself. You can't get wealthy working for somebody else. So there's 4 ways to start. Now, we're talking about a global business here that you can start from the comfort of an extra bedroom, a desk, a spare space, right? And have tax advantages that aren't afforded to you because you are an employee. So start your own business. The best way of starting is the Business Builder Pack. I like the $575.95 pack, right? $600. Because it gives you a couple of things. It gives you the rank of Ruby, very important. It maximizes the compensation plan, and we'll talk more about that in a minute, but it gives you 350 single serving packages or 16 canisters, whatever you like. I've got some people that like the canisters and like to sell and or give away the canisters, and I've got other people that love the single serving package, or the sticks as we call them. There's a $20 one-time activation fee for your back office, one time, right? For all your websites, for everything that Valentus does. And guys, you can refer anybody anywhere in the world, right? You can refer anybody anywhere in the world, and they can be part of your team, and we can ship product to those people anywhere in the world. So you have a global business right from the comfort of your home. Like I said, Business Builder Pack. When I got started, I ordered 16 of the canisters. That's all there were at the time. The sticks came a little bit later. But here's what we teach people. You can either give them away or you can sell them in a 6-day trial pack, right? 6 sticks, and like Mitch put on the slide here, set aside 50 free samples for yourself, divide the rest of them into 56 packs, right? 56 packs times $20 is $1,000. You just got your initial investment back, right? $600, you got $400 profit. So, so that's a great way to do it. And, folks, if you tell people, hey, I can send you a couple of sticks for free, or I can sell you a 6-day experience, 6 cups of coffee for $20, and I'll pay the postage, right? I'll get it to you. And, a lot of people, just opt to try the 6-day experience. So, because in 6 days, you're going to see some results. And like I said earlier, there's a couple of other, you maximize the compensation plan. So we're going to talk about a legacy bonus and a couple of other things. But, here's one of the most important parts, right? 7 ways to get paid. Retail commissions, obviously, we have a lot of retail customers. We have a lot of people that just love the coffee and just want to buy product as a retail or a preferred customer. We've got a fast start bonus, or what I like to call is a first order bonus, from $20 to $200. Everything, all these are paid weekly, right? Our legacy coded bonus, $100 to infinity. And I'm not going to go into any detail on that. The big money is number 4. Pay attention to that one. The dual team commissions up to $100,000 weekly. Now, nobody's quite reached that yet, but people are getting close, right? That is 5,000 cycles and each one of those cycles pays $20, thus $100,000. Dual team matching bonuses up to 20%. shares of the 1% global bonus pool, and then a car bonus starting at diamond and moving forward. You know, there's the car that comes in. This is an interesting chart, guys. I mean, I really want you to pay attention to this. You know, I said that when you buy the Business Builder package, you start as a Ruby, average income $200 to $600 as a Ruby, right? You're just getting started. As an Emerald, you move up in rank, you make a little bit more money, you move to a Diamond, and you're going to hear from Diamond Dell here in a little bit. She's going to introduce some people. That's when the car bonus kicks in, $400 monthly, about $3,000 to $6,000 a month, right? That's a pretty good income, right? $6,000 a month times 12 months is 72 grand, right? A whole lot better than 35,000, the average income for those people that are trading time for money. As a double diamond, you know, up to 12.5. And these are just kind of estimates. I'm a triple diamond, right? Got to triple diamond a while ago, $1,000 car bonus that pays for a Range Rover that my wife drives, and you know, income from 15 to 30,000 a month. 30,000 a month. You know, my income's been a little bit higher than that. I'm working very diligently now to get to the next rank. Why? Because it makes more money, right? I make more money. My buddy Rick just left Blue Diamond and went to Royal Diamond, and you know, I'll tell you more about that story later. But you know, this is something that, you know, average monthly income and rank. So this is something that you need to pay close attention to. You know, guys, I mean, here's what it's all about. You know, how much money would really make a difference in your life? I'm going to show you what happened to me. That's me over there with the, I started right here, my first check, $724. My check over New Year's was $4,600, and my check, I'm sorry, that's out of the screen, was $5,600. So far, Valentus has paid me over $207,000 since last June, right? That's my first check. So my income goal for 2019 is 600,000. My income goal for 2020 is 1.5 million. I know that I'll get there because I know what's going to happen. I've been here before. I've seen this movie, you know, a couple of times in my career. And as a result, like I said earlier, I've made millions of dollars. So you can finally earn what you're worth if you're willing to put in the effort. Look, this is not a lottery. This is a lot of hard work. I worked harder for that $724 than I worked for the check that I'll get tomorrow, which will be probably somewhere in the neighborhood of, you know, $7,000 to $10,000 for the week. And so all of your effort is put, you know, in the beginning, and there's less and less effort put forth, you know, as you build your team. You have a much, much bigger team. My buddy Rick, in April of 2018, his income was $9,000 for the month. His income in April of 2019 was $128,000 for the month. Okay, got that? 128,000 for the month. You know, so that's what happens. You know, bigger network, more money, right? So I'm gonna, you know, I was trying to show you part of a power line video, but for some reason it didn't like me doing that, so I'm not going to show that to you, but I'm going to explain it real quickly. Tonight is what we refer to as Leapfrog Thursday. Leapfrog Thursday, which means that all of us are building one power line, right? One person that you put in, the first person you put in goes to the top, and then the second underneath and underneath and underneath, and just one leg straight down. Yes, it is a two-leg, plan, dual team plan, but, initially you're going to build one leg. Well, what happens at Thursday midnight Pacific time is that in this line of this power line, people are placing orders, people are pre-enrolling, by going in and pre-enrolling for free and having a free position, and then other people are getting stacked in underneath them. Well, all those that lock in their position will leapfrog over all of those people that are still thinking about placing an order. So, most important part, if you're pre-enrolled, which means you haven't placed an order yet, I would encourage you to go to Valentus.com, click on the login button, scroll down the page to where it says pre-enrollee login, and enter your email address. That'll take you to the pre-enrollees login back office, right? And right there, you can start looking at everything. There's some videos there, but the most important thing is click on the Join Now, right? Join Now button. And if you just want to try the coffee, order that that option one. Order that little $59.95 package of Slim Roast Optimum. Remember to get the Optimum coffee. There are 3 coffees up there on that website. There is a Brazilian and an Italian, and the coffee that you want is the Optimum, right? So make sure you get that. And then enjoy yourself, right? It's 30 cups of coffee, $2 a cup, right? $59.95, and a $20 one-time fee to have your own back office and everything else. And then get with the person that enrolled you as a pre-enrollee, and have them walk you through the back office. And if they don't know how to do it, keep going upline until you find somebody that does, or reach out to me and I'll be happy to do it. So I know that, this is a great little saying by Woody Allen. 80% of your success is just showing up, right? Just showing up. And that's what I discovered in the very beginning. I have to tell you, my initial start in network marketing was not what you'd expect. I mean, I owned an advertising agency for 16 years. I got drug off to a meeting by a friend of mine, like this meeting here, right? And in that meeting were the top 10% of the income earners of this particular company. He didn't tell me that. He said, hey, these guys make a lot of money, go out and mingle around. So I mingled, and I met this one old boy, and I says, hey, my buddy says that you guys make a lot of money. If you don't mind me asking, how much money do you make? And I was pretty blunt. And he said, well, I make about $70,000. This was 1987, right? Remember that, 1987. And I said, $70,000 a year. I said, I make a lot more money than $70,000 a year. He said, no, mister. He said, I make $70,000 a month. Well, my jaw dropped down, right? My face went blank. I stared at him and I said, you know what? You just don't look that smart. And he said, oh, he laughed. And good thing he has a sense of humor. He said, oh, there's a lot of people here that make a lot more money than I do. Well, that was my beginning of network marketing. That evening, if it wasn't illegal, if it wasn't immoral, and you could make that kind of money, then I wanted to be part of it. And that night I spent $35,000 and bought a whole bunch of water filters that I had delivered to, not my house, but my friend's house. Then I had to go home and tell my wife. Guys, what's your why? I rearranged these pictures a little bit. That's a Lamborghini that I had, 2012. This is a little house that we owned in Austin, Texas on Lake Travis. So my why was I grew up in the basement apartment in Chicago, a 1-bedroom basement apartment, right? And so my why was to have as much expanse as I could possibly get. And yeah, I mean, I wanted to live large, right? So I don't know what your why is. You know, maybe it's to pay off debt. Maybe it's recognition. Maybe it's just to have fun. Maybe it's to give your money away, help, you know, be a great giver or something. Maybe you want to drive a Lamborghini or a Bentley or something. You can drive almost any car you want. Maybe it's, you know, just the personal growth. But whatever it is, all those things are available to you if you want to do it. This is one of Mitch's favorite, and I love it. I mean, you know, this is a people business. You know, yes, we are kind of in the coffee business. We're kind of in the health and wellness business, but we're really in the people business. And if you take care of the people will take care of the business. There's Mitch and I and Diamond Dell at the last event in Las Vegas. So, you know, people from all over the world are joining. And as you can see, Mitch and Dell and Marianne are building an incredible organization in Africa, and you'd never, and Micronesia and Hawaii, and it just goes on and on and on. So, you know, where are you? You know, maybe you're one of those A's. Maybe, you know, you've heard enough, you've got enough information, and you're ready to get started. Great. Get back to the person that invited you onto this webinar and go get signed up. And get signed up tonight and place your business builder package order. And maybe you've got some questions. Get those answered, right? Get them answered tonight. I mean, forget about, you know, oh, I want to think about it. I want to think about it. There's nothing to think about. You're either going to, you know, get into business by yourself and become wealthy, or you're going to stay where you're at. Just think about where you've been for the last 5 years and think about the next 5 years moving forward. Do you want to be in the same spot? No, probably not. And, you know, maybe it's not for you at all. Maybe you just can't see yourself in this kind of business. Maybe you think that, and, you know, guys, I didn't see myself in this kind of business. I thought network marketing was for people that couldn't go out and get a real job. So, you know, I had a lot of selling of myself. You know, I went to a lot of training. I failed miserably for the first year in business. I mean, my first check was $43. My wife went hysterical. I mean, she just went absolutely, you know, ape. And she said, you flew all around the country going to meetings, because that was before Zoom, before the internet, right? Before cell phones, before all of those things, right? 1987. And you flew all around the country to get trained. And obviously you didn't learn very much. You got a check for $43. I said, I know, it's going to get better, right? It's going to get better. So I begged for some more time. And, you know, but if it's not for you, then it's just not for you. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to ask Dell to come in and let's see if I can figure out how to do this, Dell.